G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jake and this is Albie, and today we're going to be making and installing some floating shelves out of some big old bits of camphor laurel. So, I'm going to be trying out welding for the first time in a while. Let's get into it. So the shelves are going to be made out of a couple slabs of camphor laurel. These both came from the same tree. And the final dimensions are 150 by 400 by however thick I can keep it. These have been air drying for about 2 or 3 years, as when I bought them, they weren't dry at all. And someone wanted me to make a desk out of them. I then told them they weren't dry and they ended up choosing something else. So how the floating shelves are going to be installed, instead of doing something like L brackets like a lot of people will do, I'm going to weld a custom plate that goes onto the wall with a couple rods that will be drilled into these. First thing we need to do is get these back down to fully bare timber, as there is some old finish on these from me trying to finish them up for something else. We're gonna chuck them through the joiner right there. So let's get doing that.
Follow this old river down to where the poppies grow. Drink that cool water, I get my take me out past the mud and rust and all the broken bones, and watch the sun fall down behind you. I'm in love with a woman, and she makes me wanna sing a song. I'm in love with a woman, and she makes me wanna build a home.
So the boards are the right thickness and the right length. They haven't been cut to width yet. The width is 150, they're currently at 170. So when we get a little bit closer to the end, that's when we will use the table saw to finish that off. Now that they're done, I'm going to set it aside for a little bit. Okay, so let's talk about the steel. We have 12 mil round bar, that's going to be the posts for the floating shelves, and 32 by 5 mil flat bar. I'm going to cut them all on this saw, as it's a little quicker than the angle grinder, and then do a little bit of prep for welding. All I know about the welding part is I should add a chamfer to the bottom of the round dowel, just so that the wire can go in a bit deeper. Other than that, I have no idea where to space it, what else I'm doing, but we'll cut these to size so that they fit well in the board. So I've got all these cut out now. We're gonna get them cleaned up on the grinder, but I don't have my welder here with me. At least to my knowledge, I'm gonna have a little bit more of a look around, but I think I lent it to someone. So if that's the case, I'm gonna have to come back after I get my welder back. So let's move over to the grinder where I clean these up. Okay, so we have the welder now, so we can get to welding these brackets. But since Albie is a very fluffy little creature, he's gonna have to go away. Problem is, he likes fire. He's a bit of an arsonist. So he's not gonna like the fact that I get to weld and play with fire, and he doesn't. So I'm gonna go put him over there, and hopefully he doesn't sneak back over. Now he's away, let's hope he doesn't come any closer, but I'm not in the right type of gear. So I'm going to get changed. Basically what I change into is anything 100% cotton. Anything polyester you want to get off, because it will be very easy to burn and will chemically bond to your skin. So the shirt's 100% cotton, these are denim, and I've got some steel toes on. The only thing I wish I had was some sleeves to cover my arms, because I know they're going to get burnt, but you do what you can. as you can tell, I don't weld very often. This thing is so damn dusty. Same with my gloves. So, I'm gonna make sure there's no spiders in there. As well as the dust is mostly off them. But I'm gonna go give the inside of my helmet a blow just so that I'm not breathing in that. I would say I haven't welded anything in about a year or 2 years. So this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna start off with just some light tack welds just to get used to it again, to get the voltage for the welder and all that. Also, never welded anything round, so that's gonna be fun. I'm just hoping that I can do well enough that it can support about 20 kilos. Now I am gonna have you guys a bit far away. That's just so that I don't damage my camera at all. So no close-ups, just because I don't have anyone else filming and I'm not gonna be able to see what's happening. I have cracked phone screens and computer screens welding, so camera's just gonna stay far away from this. It's gonna be a quick process. I'm probably just gonna quickly jump cut everything for you, as I'm not experienced enough to tell you guys how to weld anything. So, we got it welded up. They don't look pretty at all. But, after that, I am white. Oh. Basically, off camera, you guys didn't see any of this. I bought a new gas bottle today. I went to Bunnings, bought it, came back here. I plug it into the welder, try and get the regulator all working and all that. Guess what? The bottle's empty. Why? They sold me a empty bottle because the guy didn't bother to check. Anyway, went back, they exchanged it. Dude was great about it, easy exchange, all that jazz. Came back and did all that. Mind you, today's also about 35 degrees in Australia, and being in a steel shed, not fun. Being in pants, and very unbreathable pants at that. Also not very fun, so I am very sweaty. We've got them welded. Hopefully they'll hold stuff. I think they're good enough welds to hold some consoles and some stuff like that that I'm not overly too worried about.
Chair. Do me one more thing if you could. Be so fair. Drink with me. Drink with me. Drink with me till the morning comes. Drink with me. Drink with me. Drink with me till the morning comes. And anytime you feel the strain, just call me up when skies are gray. Yeah. Anytime, come what may. Just remember, darling, things we said today. Yeah. Drink with me. Drink with me.
Okay, so we're here back, and what basically happened after I turned the camera off yesterday was I was testing out the welds again because I wasn't 100% with them. Like, I wasn't loving them, and both of them had a weak point again, so they both broke. And I was like, I'm not going to try and fix it tonight. I'm not going to use these pieces again. So away they go. And this morning, that's actually really funny, I threw that and it just broke. So, definitely not strong enough. Anyway, away it goes. So yesterday I decided to do a little bit of research on MIG welding because I knew something was wrong. I knew it could handle these welds. I just didn't know what it was. So it turns out my wire feed speed was too slow, so it wasn't causing enough heat to get into the joints and basically not melting the metal parts. Something I didn't know, which I found out yesterday, was a lot of the heat doesn't come from the wire, doesn't come from like the grounding clip, it comes from the wire. So when you turn up the amperage, you can turn up the amperage as much as you want, but if the wire feed speed's too slow, you're not gonna actually get through and melt and connect the pieces together. Now I've got this new one and it's hella strong. I'm not gonna try super hard to break it, but I was definitely pulling decently hard. I might even try, like, these welds also look a little bit nicer. Like, I just did a couple tack welds and then a couple quick beads around, and they actually melted the metal a little bit, so that's cool. And basically what I'm doing is I'm centering this. I'm then gonna hog out a lot of the material with the router, then clean it up with a couple of chisels, and then I move on to the drilling of the holes, which I use basically a countersink for the welds because the welds are decently protruding. And then I use another auger bit that's nice and long so that I can get deep enough down and easily look at the angle to make sure that these holes are nice and straight.
Follow this old river down to where the poppies grow, and drink that cool water till I get my fill. Take me out past the mud and rust and all the broken bones, and watch the sun fall down behind the hills. I'm in love with a woman, and she makes me want to sing a song. I'm in love with a woman, and she makes me want to build a home. I'm in love with a woman, and she makes me want to sing a song. I'm in love with a woman, and she makes me want to build a home. Work hard all day stone by stone for the night to come. There's no sleep like that of tired bones. And rub my hands and whisper to me about tomorrow, about the kids and the house, and how we don't have much, but it's enough. I'm in love with a woman, and she makes me want to sing a song. I'm in love with a woman, and she makes me want to build a new home. I'm in love with a woman, she makes me want to sing a song. I'm in love with a woman, and she makes me want to build a home. Oh, there's something about you naked in the morning. Quiet all these voices in my head. Yeah, there's something about you naked in the morning. Shut my mouth and put me back to bed. And there's something about you naked in the noontime, doing a little jig around the house. Yeah, there's something about you naked in the noontime. What do you say, babe? We go play a little lost and found. And there's something about you naked in the night. Look so good, you know it should be a sin. Oh, there's something about you naked in the nighttime. Burn me up and burn me down. Yeah, there's something about you naked in the nighttime. I want you to burn me up and burn me down.
So, that's what it looks like. Now I'm not going to push it in all the way, as I have a feeling it's going to be pretty tight. And I want to be able to still get it back out. Basically, on the wall, and then push straight on. And this should be able to hold it, if I can get it back out. So something to take into consideration with this project in specific when you're drilling these holes, because they need to be decently accurate, but you still need wiggle room, because like I can probably look at these welds, it looks like the bar might have come curled up a little bit from the heat, these could have been welded slightly off, all of that type of stuff. Because they're so short, doesn't really affect it too much, but that 1 degree, if you used the exact size drill bit, all over. So make sure when you're doing it that you drill oversized, at least a mil, maybe even more, if you look at it and you're like, these are really catawampus, or you remake them. Like I made it in total for this project 5, and only 2 of them are good enough to even be attempted to be used. At the same time, with the back sheet as well, yes, there's a lot of protrusion on the back. That's so that when you go into your house and you put it on the wall, your wall might not be perfectly straight. Make sure you leave that room to go home and plane to your walls. This is all type of stuff that if you don't think about it, you won't know to do it until you get there and you're like, oh, these gaps are kind of shit. I'm just gonna fill it with gap filler. Try, if you can, think a little bit further ahead and be like, okay, I can make that plate recess 8 mil instead of 5 mil, giving me that 3 mil to plane to a wall. If your wall's more than 3 mil out, I think there might be a bit of a different issue, but everyone knows that walls aren't built the straightest, as construction usually has higher tolerances for error than something like fine carpentry. Let's get these over to the house. I'll drill these holes off camera and then I'll show you mounting them onto the wall and putting them on.
Eyes to the forefront, ears to the pavement. It's a world against you and I. Teaspoon and lipstick, New Year's and road trips. Oh, how time can fly. I give you my last, even though you won't ask. We both know smiles for free. 'Cause this ain't a love song, this is my swan song now. We used to be. So don't ever let them get you down. Waltz over here, believe that frown. 'Cause you may only be here for a while. So hold on to me and bring that smile. And a blue screen, escape to a small dream. We'll see this to the end. A cold hand and small talk, snow on a night walk. Could this be it, my friend? So don't ever let them get you down. Waltz over here, believe that frown. 'Cause you may only be here for a while.
Okay, so as you're watching me do, they're installed now. I adhered them to the wall. I used some silicone just on the middle parts and not on any of the actual plasterboard. But you could probably see me having some trouble. That's because this top board, the part of the wall that it's sitting on, is very not flat. When I was screwing it in, the actual bar, which wasn't perfectly flat but pretty close, was at least 20 to 25 mil off the wall, which means the screw point here was basically angled in instead of flat. That's the basic understanding of it. And I planed this edge down to basically as flat as I could get it without not being able to push this any further in on the metal plate, because obviously you don't want the metal showing, but it is what it is. This one, pretty easy to get on and off, not anymore. But again, there's that little gap. I could have worked on it, but since that one's so bad, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some silicone around it. I know I said that's not the best thing to do, but it's kind of the only option I have to hide that bit. Like, most of the time you probably won't see it. I'm guessing, like, let's say someone this tall, because this is the top one. So I'm here. Like, you would see that. It's not the prettiest looking thing in the world. So it's just gonna be siliconed around nice and easily, and that'll keep it nice and adhered to the wall. But that concludes this project. This little bit was a bit of a nightmare. The welding was a bit of a nightmare, but we got through it in the end. We got to here, and I want to thank you all for watching. If you have any tips or tricks to share, drop them down in the comments. And if you like this content and want to see more, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. It lets YouTube know that I'm doing a good job. And until next time, see ya.